as we've been. So when and where and how did you get started in martial arts?
Oh, well, my dad completely disavows this kind of thing, and rightfully so. For him, he's a very religious man. But when he was younger, he was all into all the old school martial arts. So I had grown up with knowing that he had a little bit of fondness for them, and I was bullied heavily in high school. And I'm just gonna go ahead, since this is a long form podcast, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you some story because
Go
this is
for
gonna
it.
be really funny for everybody. I was homeschooled for the first few years of my life in public school until I was about 8 years old, and then I went into second grade for the first time elementary school, and God bless my parents. When I was in second grade, I was already at a college level reading level, like no cap. Like my mom taught me how to do math, everything so good. I was so whipping smart. And because she worked full time, my dad worked his tail off, went to school at night and worked full time at a payroll job. We had one car and everything like that. They weren't doing that. It was hard, but man, they both hustled, and my mom taught me well. So props to them for that. That being said, what they were both extremely the cliche religious conservative type of people, and they had no sense of any type of fashion to be able to give me. The first outfit I ever wore to my school was John Stockton. You better know that NBA player, short shorts. I mean, that level of short shorts, gray short shorts, a gray polo 3 button down shirt like I'm wearing here, but it didn't even cover all of my torso. There was like part of my belly button almost hanging out. So I really looked like I was from the 70s and 80s, like hardcore. I thought they were cool back then. I had ABC shoelaces because I thought that was what was cool back then. And they were all making fun of me. Oh, you don't even know your ABCs. You have to keep them on your shoes so you can remember them. And I was bullied so hard, man. I mean, physically bullied all the way, like almost daily, like getting kicked in the balls, getting punched, everything. And my parents, of course, being the religious conservative people they tried everything, talking to the teachers, talking to the principals, trying to get me to, laugh at the jokes, everything that you could possibly think of. They tried to do it right. So after about a year of this, my dad, he gets that old school martial arts look in his eye because he did all the dangerous stuff, the kung fu, and there isn't an application to that. You don't see a lot of that nowadays because we have all the current martial arts now, but it works good against everyday Joes, you know. But he said, Andrew, the next time that there's one kid in particular named Corey bullies you, the next time Corey bullies you, I want you to get your fist and I want you to sock him in the nose as hard as you can. So a couple of days later, he did that. Boom! He gets a call from the principal. He's just like, your son. He's just like, I have nothing for that. Come home, Andrew. You're good. And he patted me on the back. That's a good boy. And ever since then, I've had not only a fascination with martial arts, but I also had a lot of psychology issues to work through, trying to get past that bullying and trying to get everyone's approval. Because when I went through second to fourth grade, going through that, then I homeschooled again, fifth and sixth grade. And then, oh my God, I can't believe I'm telling everybody this, but this is funny, bro. This is funny. You're going to like this story. One day when I was in sixth grade near the end, and I knew I was about to go to middle school for seventh and eighth grade, I knew I had done something wrong and I was going to get in trouble. So I snuck a radio into my room one day because I knew I was going to school and I had to prepare how to be popular. So I had to at least know what the music was like and everything. And that was the first time I ever really listened to hip hop music ever. Turned on 97.9. It's a Texas radio station. And I heard the first hip hop song I ever heard was in the seventh grade. It's called White Tees by them Franchise Boys. And that beat, I was like, yeah, this is cool. And so I go to school and I ask, hey, where are all the people who listen to this kind of music? And they point them over there where all the black people are and a few Mexicans and stuff like that. And they felt sorry for me. They felt pity on me, like, come here, bro. We'll take you under our wing, you poor boy.
Like a
And
lost puppy, like a little lost puppy.
yeah, exactly. I essentially turned into a wannabe B Rabbit on 8 Mile kind of dude. you know, wearing the fake silver and gold chains and the tall tees with the southpaw sagging shorts and everything, just trying to be a wannabe, gangster and everything. Oh, that was such a bad time in my life. That I look so ridiculous looking back. But I started lifting weights because I was a very tall kid. When I was 11, I was the same height. I'm 5'11" now, and I was the same height ever since I was 11 years old. Big. I thought I was going to be a monster. No, I kept on waiting to keep growing. No, I topped off right there, unfortunately, and then saw everyone else grow past me. But I started lifting weights, and I was playing basketball, so no one really messed with me that hard. I just didn't know anything about anything still, and then that worked all the way up. And whenever I had left home, I had disassociated from my religion at that point. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, and I had left that. And I had a daughter. And the reason I left that is because I was having a daughter. I was conceiving a child out of marriage. And now I know that's definitely not something anyone ever wants to do. Don't y'all dare do that. That's not a good idea. Although, my daughter knows I would never trade her for anything in the world. But I said to myself, what can I do that doesn't take 8 years of college and I can make some money doing at least halfway soon? And that I don't want to kill myself every day. I want to enjoy what I do. Well, let's try an MMA gym. Let's walk in there. I know some martial arts. Oh man, I didn't know nothing about nothing. The old school martial arts didn't help me against the pros.
Oh God, I got a story to tell you about that. I feel your pain on that one. But so you go to the MMA. Well, okay, so I'll just dissect it. So I trained in several traditional martial arts since I was 8 years old, karate, taekwondo mostly, but I did a little bit of a very, very little bit of judo, tiny bit, but mostly karate and taekwondo. And
a lot of people don't know that if you have a well-executed judo throw hurts more than any punch.
I said in the when we were watching the fights, I said, man, if you've got solid like Muay Thai, for example, for striking, you've got some jiu-jitsu skills, and if you incorporate judo in there, you're a wrecking crew.
Oh yeah, Ronda Rousey all day.
Exactly, Ronda Rousey originally a judoka, and then she got into MMA and trained on the other stuff, the stand-up fighting, and then the grappling aspect. But anyway, so at this point, I can't remember. I think I've got my first degree black belt in Taekwondo at this point. So you get your black belt, you think you're hot shit, right? And then we went to this seminar where we went for the Kung Fu, but there was another guy there who was teaching this weird thing called Kali, and we stuck around for that because they had sticks, and we thought that looked cool. Now,
that's a Filipino art, I believe.
Oh, Kali's fucking sick. But so we came for the Kung Fu, actually, that seminar, and I say I'm not a good fighter, but I have pretty decent kicks, Taekwondo, right?
Yeah, well, you can have really good weapons, you can know the moves and everything, but fighting is also a mentality, and a lot of people just don't have that, and there's nothing wrong with it. If you have that mentality, you're crazy. So that's nothing. You're normal.
Yeah, there's another one I'm going to touch on. But so the guy is saying, he's like, throw a kick, and I throw like a light kick for demonstration, and he said, no, throw a kick. And I was like, okay, so I give him a little bit more, and he said, no, kick me. And I go, are you sure? And he said, yes, I'm sure. And I was, okay. So I gave him probably about 60%. And he did his block thing, but I was just like, yeah, no. If I was trying to wreck your shit with that kick, that's not going to work. But anyway, we see the demonstration. We remain unimpressed. But then the Kali guy comes up, and very similar. He's like, throw a punch. So same thing, throw a punch. And then I give him about a 60%, and he slaps it away, like kind of frustrated. He said, no, punch me in the chin. So I went, all right. So I'm not fucking around with this one. I throw a solid, close to full power punch right at his chin, and the next thing I know, I'm on my ass with a handkerchief wrapped around my wrist, and I don't know how the fuck I got there. Because it happened so goddamn fast. And he was like, you want to see that slower? And I was like, yes, please. So then I did Kali and Silat for a number of years after Taekwondo because I never felt so humbled before in my life.
Bro, yes, that's exactly how it was when I came into the MMA gym. Like my favorite martial art of choice whenever I was doing the old school stuff was Aikido.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew how to toss some dudes around, and I had in the day, back when I was a teenager, I had. But no, it doesn't work against anyone with a sense of balance, not at all. So I remember just being a few days in, maybe 2 or 3 days in at the MMA gym, and God bless his soul, the dude's name was Mike. He was already a professional, and he didn't make anything of it. Like, he just did it for a little while as a hobby and then moved on with his life. But so he wasn't even a hardcore. He was just, good. But he was just sparring with me. He was a ground guy. That wasn't even his specialty. We were standing up sparring, and I know he only did it to maybe 10% of what he actually could have. But one time he faked a punch at me. I tried to cover up, and what they had taught me, and then he sweeps my leg, just one of them, boom, and I fall completely flat on my back. Boom. And I was
and you don't know how to fall yet either.
Didn't know how to fall yet or anything, and that was my humbling moment. I was like, "Oh, I have to keep doing this."
I'm telling you, there's one of two reactions when that happens to somebody, and you and I had the same reaction. It was like, "Oh, I feel so shitty, but I got to learn how to do this."
Yes, most people just leave.
Yeah.